Hello and welcome to another episode of Square Up with Gray Square. I've got myself and Mr. Tim Koontz hanging out today. What's up, man?
Woo-woo.
Yeah, right? Dude, we haven't done one of these in forever.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been like...
Let's blame it on coronavirus, so just so you blame everything on that.
That's probably what happened.
I haven't been able.
We couldn't come in and record podcasts because of coronavirus. Not because we were busy or anything else. We just used coronavirus. So question to start this thing off, man. During the initial lockdown, like back in March, April, whatever, everybody picked up a hobby of some kind. What did you do? And did you keep, like, are you still doing it? Or was it just like a phase?
I'd say the first one I picked up was landscaping.
All right.
So during the quarantine, I think I was mowing my yard at least 3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Literally 3 times a week. I still have green grass, even though it's snowing outside right now because I put so much fertilizer in.
Yeah.
The bushes and trees. I have bird feeders. I had a garden. Literally garden. You should see the shed that's in our backyard has flowers all around it. It looks amazing.
Dude, that's like full
I was committed.
Old lady suburb behavior.
That's right. I had the little old lady sitting outside in their like nightgowns or whatever, just watching me, almost like I was an ambulance or something.
So if you're cutting your grass for the 3rd time in 1 week, is there even grass shooting outside, or is it just like?
No, I was using. I even went so far as I got a rotary motor, rotary mower.
It's like a push mower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like mechanical. It doesn't have an engine or anything like that. So it's like cutting the grass as opposed to like the rotating guy.
Yeah. I've never used one of those.
So it's like remulching and fertilizing your yard, but yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work than if you have like a cool riding mower or a real lawn mower.
Why did you do that?
Because it makes your yard look so much better.
Really?
It's like golf course quality. But
all the dads out there in Middle America listening to this, the hundreds of thousands,
they're jealous. They know what's up.
You guys know what's up.
Any real enthusiast about my whole goal was to embarrass my neighbors. That was it. Like I wanted to be the cool house in town for 10 minutes that had an awesome yard. And yeah, they all know. Yeah. Anyone that's listening to this that has a home and appreciation for competitiveness with their neighbors to make them look bad while you look good, they know the value of that push mower, that mechanical mower. But to answer your second question, no, I didn't keep up with it. It lasted all summer.
When did it stop? When did you bail?
Once I had like a regular life working.
Did you like go back to work?
Yeah, once I went back to work, like I haven't done anything. Like I yelled at the boys to put more food in the bird feeders, but they're always empty. Yeah. So all the birds are probably dead or something. Who knows? But I don't think I'll be able to keep up with it. I just don't have the time. Like it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. I only had, without the coronavirus, I wouldn't have had a cool looking yard. So that was probably my first and last year of having an awesome looking
until you hire a guy.
Awesome looking yard. Yeah.
To pull it off. I had a couple. One was that I knew I was going to be just overeating like everyone did.
Yeah.
So I started running to kind of balance that out.
How'd that
like
work
I couldn't
out?
go to the gym. I think it went well, but was also kind of worthless. So I was running like 3 miles a day, which for 34-year-old not in shape dude, I think that's not nothing. I think it's something. But I lost no weight while that was happening because I was just eating constantly. So the running was just kind of
it was maintenance.
It was just maintenance. It was just maintenance. Like us 30-plus-year-olds have to do just maintenance. We're not going for the 6-pack anymore. Like we're not going to be that guy that our girlfriends and wives faint over that comes on TV. I'm not going to be that guy. Right? It's just not happening for me. So I got nothing done there.
Are you still running?
God, no. I hated it. Like
it's as awful as it sounds.
once we got like back to work in June, I ran one time for like 20 minutes, and that's it.
Is there anyone that goes to Planet Fitness that is excited about being there? Or is everyone just doing it because they have to do it to not be a fat ass?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I mean? Like some of these dudes, they'll go and like bench press 7 million pounds and they like going to the gym.
Right.
Is there anyone like running down the street that's like, this is awesome?
Yeah. I think the people
What percentage of people that work out are enjoying themselves?
Yeah. It's got to be 5%.
5%. So 5% of people running through your local park are like, this is great. Isn't this awesome? The other 95% are swearing.
Yeah, they hate it.
Like
eliminate athletes from the 5% that
they don't count.
Engaged in a sport.
They're not regular people. They're doing something for a reason.
I'm talking about the average American who's just trying to not fall apart.
Right.
That is doing physical activity.
That's why I said Planet Fitness, because like all like the meathead dudes are all like, these expensive gyms.
Yeah.
Planet Fitness is supposed to be everyone's gym. Yeah. I think all of those everyone's don't want to be there.
Yeah. So that's where I go as like an average Joe.
So what other hobby did you pick up other than running for 3 laps?
Dude, it was
for a week.
I hated it. And I even did the I downloaded an app that was like, it's called Couch to 5K. It was like, you're a loser. We'll make you not a loser in like 2 months or whatever.
How'd that go?
It was embarrassing, like the start that I was on. Because like it starts you off as like, okay, walk for 2 minutes and then run for 30 seconds. And then, run for like a minute and walk for 5 minutes. And I was like
the standards are so low.
So
your
low.
Self-esteem.
And I was like, oh my God. I used to run, 5-6 miles every day like it was nothing when I was like, in shape. And I was like, run for 2 minutes. Really? That's what I'm going to do here. And then I did it and I was like panting and I was like, oh God. Oh, this is not a good look. I'm glad no one's around.
What else did you
bailed on that immediately? I started, what else did I do? I wanted to be like a fake bartender in the house. I started like mixing drinks, like mixing cool drinks.
Yeah.
I quit doing that. It was fun, while it lasted.
I hope this the second segment of this isn't about follow through.
Yeah, right. Here's what you got to do to be successful.
Success in business is about longevity, but just bail after running after a week.
I did. Yeah, I quit doing that too.
So the mixology career is not your backup.
I'm not going to be a bartender. No.
If this whole entrepreneurial endeavor doesn't work out very well, you're not going to be going and slinging drinks.
Now at home, I just act like I prefer drinks neat, so I don't have to add stuff to them.
That sounds about right. Yeah,
That's the move.
About right. I prefer drinks neat just so that old men don't call me a loser.
Yeah. That's fair.
You want some whiskey? I'm neat.
Neat. I also got addicted to TikTok, like full on addicted. I only downloaded it because Gary Vee told me to. He didn't tell me directly, but
he called you.
Yeah, Gary and I are buddies. I saw it on Instagram. He's like, it's all about TikTok. You got to download TikTok, and it started off as just like, the kids dancing around or whatever. And I'm like, this is creepy that I'm like an old man on this app. And children are dancing. But then I found the many lanes of TikTok, that are interesting to me. Mainly like the funny stuff, like the inappropriate humor. Like I got into all that.
Sure.
And I also got into air fryer TikTok.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing too. Just
air
people that like whip up.
I feel like.
Dude, I could see
Elon Musk should invest in air fryers because it's the best invention during my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So far,
in
my years of existence, the air fryer is the game changer.
So I had probably 40 air fryer TikToks saved before I got an air fryer.
Yeah, like how to bake a cake in an air fryer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm throwing steaks in that jar, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. I got you into it as well. You're on there.
The air fryer. Or TikTok.
TikTok.
I'll be honest, I struggle with TikTok. I started out the same way.
Yeah.
I started out because like the boys would send me messages. I just like watch this
just like
awesome
send you
video.
videos or whatever. Yeah.
And of course, like I didn't really like their videos because they were, from a
Teenager stuff.
like a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have watched a total of maybe 300 hours of 15-second videos of girls doing like dances on how to like teach me. And I have the song memorized. And so far I've completed 0 of those dances.
It might be
myself.
for the best.
I just can't stop. It's so addicting.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I haven't figured out TikTok yet. For me personally,
I'm so entertained by it. I have like hundreds of videos saved.
I mostly just watch people failing at things.
That's fun.
Yeah. That's my TikTok experience. I did watch the all the dance videos. In my head, I know how to do all the cool dances.
Yeah.
Physically, I know how to do 0 of the cool dances.
But like in your head, you're like,
In my head, I'm a champion.
I could probably pull. You could probably pull that off. That's awesome.
Now, I don't know. Like, my overall perspective on TikTok is, I know this sounds like an old man response. I don't quite get it yet. Yeah. I don't see the differentiation. I just know that, like, everyone under the age of 19 is addicted to this.
Yeah. And
I feel out of the loop currently.
It's just a source of comedy for me.
Yeah. Like for me, like the only social media site I use regularly is like Facebook still.
Yeah.
Like everything else has its own reason for it. Like Facebook is my own, like my general platform.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to Facebook for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But like Instagram, I really only go to for like certain reasons. And then like Twitter and then TikTok, all that's in like that club of stuff that I only watch 15-second dance videos on how to learn how to be a badass dancer, of which I've executed 0.
I remember the first time that I got called old for using Facebook still. It was my nephew, Chase.
Oh, I remember
he was like, I don't know how many years, it wasn't that many years ago. But I was like, oh yeah, I saw this thing on Facebook. And he said, he's like, Facebook is for old people and kids that don't have Twitter. That was it. And I was like, for real? I'm old now because I got Facebook?
I thought he said Snapchat or something.
Maybe he said Snapchat.
I don't think it was Twitter.
Yeah,
that seems even older.
He's not on Twitter. I don't know what he's on, honestly. But yeah, he called me old for having Facebook. And it's like, I don't know. Do you guys use Facebook at all, ever?
For memes. My mom's friends.
God, Jesus Christ. All right, yeah. So we surveyed like the younger people in the room, and they were like, yeah, my old parents are on there.
Landon downloads videos of his favorite records playing from the 60s.
Right. But it changed so fast.
Yeah.
Like it went from...
Well, no, when I was... So this is a crazy Facebook story.
This is a good one. You should tell this one, yeah.
So when I was in college, I guess it was my junior year, at that time, Facebook was only in
like a handful
the 4
of schools.
Ivy League schools. I was like it.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to expand. At that time, you still had to have a college ID in order to have a Facebook page. And
it was called The Facebook. TheFacebook.com.
And Mark Zuckerberg was on our campus to pitch this new idea. Like him and his people were there to explain how awesome this was. So then, at that time, this would have been 2005, I guess. 5? Something like that. Yeah, 2005. Whatever.
4. Yeah.
It was around college. It was like, if you're on the internet talking to people, that is the chief indication that you're a loser.
Really?
It was the only people that had Facebook that were open about having it. Yeah. So everyone had Facebook, but like talking about it meant that you didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
And yet by the time I graduated, my dad had Facebook. And my 7-year-old niece had Facebook, and everyone had Facebook. But like literally, when I was in school, it was Zuckerberg and his team pitching it one-on-one to college kids in the middle of what we called like the quad, or we called it the pit.
Yeah. And
like there's this like there's these stairs that would go down into this hole, and like we would meet there every day at like lunchtime. Like everyone on campus, it would be 5,000 kids there, and like one of the days. it was the Facebook kids that were there pitching how awesome this was going to be. And literally for the next year, it was just the only people who talked about it were like the kids that were like nerdy and didn't have any friends. They used social media. And
so
then
awesome.
like the tables just turned entirely in a matter of like no time. It still kind of had some stigma. Yeah. It still kind of had that like,
you're weird because you're talking to people.
You're talking to this girl on Facebook.
Yeah.
You nerd. Can't you go and grab a drink with her like a regular person?
Yep.
And then now it's like, you were meeting with somebody at a bar. What are you, 900 years old? Why don't you just
Messenger didn't exist then. It was only the wall.
Oh, that's true.
There was no messenger, and there was no pictures. Like pictures didn't get added for like 2 years.
When I go back and see like when you know they do like your memories from years ago. Like I have some that are like 15 years old now.
Yeah.
And like literally the messages at the time, it would say like because it would say your name is.
So your status would just be
fill in the blank. So yeah, now all I have incomplete sentences. They're like 14-year-old memories. It would just be like
studying.
Right. I'm like, who the hell wanted to read this when I was in college?
That's what we were doing though.
Like literally, that's what Facebook was. It was like, it'd say Tim Koontz is in a chemistry exam. But now in your memories, all it says in a chemistry exam 14 years ago. I'm like, great. Glad
I told all my friends.
Yeah, I'm glad I can look back and remember failing miserably in my science class.
Now
my junior year of college or whatever the hell it was.
You would never post that now. All you're allowed to post on Facebook is how angry at politics you are. That's it.
Right.
That's what Facebook is now. I'm angry at X person.
If I did, I guess my other thing that I picked up during quarantine, my other hobby would be trolling people. Like no doubt about it. That is the greatest thing that the world invented other than the air fryer. Is I don't even have an opinion. Yeah. I just know that if you have one, mine is the opposite. for most things. For most things. If it's too controversial, I'll just shut up.
Right.
But if it's moderately controversial, I don't care what my opinion is as long as it's contrary to yours. And it makes you feel bad about yourself by me just attacking you.
I think that's like
I want to be a cyberbully.
Me too. I want to retire and just
I feel like whoever is in the area of Philly and is on Nextdoor, beware of Landon Atkinson. He is a troll of Nextdoor.
Oh yeah. That's another great story.
I'll send you a horrible drywaller that'll just screw up everything.
Yeah.
Just to troll you. You know, like, especially if you live in a rich neighborhood, you can afford a second appointment to fix the bad labor from the first time. Anybody have a good plumber?
Yeah.
I'll be like, Landon Atkinson.
Right.
615.
Dude, I
list out some dude down the street's phone number.
That was an
awesome way to get back at ex-girlfriends for all the guys out there that need a way to do it. Just list your ex-girlfriend's phone number.
Troll them on the internet.
Yeah, as like the world's greatest electrician. She'll just get 400 phone calls a day asking her to install a new 220 volt outlet.
God, what a great idea. Nextdoor was another hobby of mine. Is I would so my neighborhood on Nextdoor was still Boston, but I was out of Boston. So I was like, I'm never gonna see these people. Let me just shout at them on the internet.
Yeah.
So I would just pick statuses and troll people. Like I would start rumors about like local businesses. This is a real thing. I'll show you guys the screenshots later. It was so much fun. Somebody was like,
we need to cut this one out.
I don't care. So we might, I don't know. But one of the posts on there was like, does anybody know why the Starbucks on so-and-so street is closed? The obvious answer was because everything was closed, right? And I put on there, guys, I just talked to the manager and
I remember
it's closed because one of the baristas had coronavirus and was sneezing in some of the lattes. And these old people just got so angry. They were freaking out. And one person was
up that it was a joke.
And one person was like, that's not true. I'm like, nope, it is. I just talked to him again. The manager said that it was actually a plant from Dunkin' Donuts that came in there and was sneezing the lattes.
That's awesome. I like it.
I pissed a lot of people off. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my response when somebody asks me what my opinion is just, well, what's your opinion?
Exactly. I want to say the opposite. Back to work in a more traditional sense. Let's go over a little bit of how how the business has changed, with the new world that we all live in.
Well, I think it's inevitable that things had to change. This with all due respect, but I think coronavirus will end up being a blessing in disguise for a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of businesses in general.
Yeah.
For me, I think the biggest thing I learned during the quarantines or lockdowns, or whatever you want to call it, was that there were changes that needed to be made anyhow. And without the lockdowns,
it probably wouldn't have happened.
It probably wouldn't have paid attention. Everything was proceeding. Like for me, Landon, like the quarantine, I think that was the first time I've ever had more than like a day off in my entire adult life. Literally, I started working when I was 15 while I was in high school or whatever. I kept working. When I was in college, I had 2 jobs. When I got out of school, I started working.
Yeah.
I was trying to pursue like a ambitious career path. We never had 3 months off. Like, that's crazy. I don't even remember having like a week off.
Yeah.
But I think we really had some time to sit and evaluate things. I think the biggest, if you look at like concepts, I think what's changed about the business is I think things have gotten simpler. I think there were a lot of things that were super complicated. Just processes that didn't need to be that complicated. I think there was a lot of like baggage, things that we were doing as a company that there was no real good reason to be doing them in the first place. And we were making the business more complicated than it needed to be. And I think when we were in lockdown, we were able to identify that, because it was like, wait a minute, what purpose do those things that we're doing actually serve? So I think the business is like leaner now than it was. Definitely. And things are more streamlined and there's less waste. Yeah. Wasted activities. So I think that's a change. I also think, like, in general, of course, we've made significant efforts to make ourselves kind of lockdown proof.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it really gave you a chance to, you kind of pick 2 options, either like, woe is me, or like, why did this happen to us?
Right. Right. Like, how can we evolve to make things better? And like I said, I think we should have been doing that anyhow. Yeah. But you just get caught up. This crisis was like a big wake-up call, and you had time. Right. You had time. I think a lot of the things that happened in 2020 happened because of time. Like, take all these like conspiracy theories that everyone has a conspiracy theory for everything. Sure. That's a function of time. Like, you wouldn't have had, without the quarantine, you wouldn't have had time to read all of this stuff, because you'd be working and living and playing with your kids or something like that. But instead, you had hours upon hours upon hours to fill that no one ever has had. Literally, in the history of all the people in the world, all the people that are living right now have never had free time like we had this year. So, of course, all these things come up. But I think business-wise, we're able to identify, unnecessary tasks that just made things more complicated than it needed to be, and the whole pandemic proof thing. So I think we've gotten, we really doubled down on like our call center, because we can create safe spaces, like distances or whatever you want to call it, and still be functional. And if there's a lockdown, we can keep 6 feet of space. We can have people work from home. We can have all those things. I think that's some improvements, is that we've gotten leaner. We've gotten more, less one-on-one human interaction focused. I think, like with like the new solar energy stuff that we're doing, that we started years ago. And then we got into, we relaunched it started in like, one part of the state, and we've moved it east now, and we're kind of taking over the mid-Atlantic area here with this project. I don't know that would have happened without the lockdowns, and the biggest catalyst of it was that it was essential. People need electricity regardless of what's going on in the world around, and we can help provide that to people. And I really think nowadays, I think we do it better than most people do. I think our strategy is better. And I don't even think we would have started the process without. I really think on accident we created the future of the company. And it touches all these areas. So we still have the human element that we're obviously engaged in. We're still meeting with clients and customers and stuff like that in person, in meetings, the whole shebang. But we're also utilizing the digital space, to communicate and converse and find and acquire and retain customers. We're also using the phone again, which sounded like a dying industry that all of a sudden has come back to life. I'd say for me, the biggest like post-quarantine stuff that changed with the business is I think we got leaner, and I think, we've really pushed avenues that if government imposed, pandemic imposed, whatever it happens to be that comes up in the future, we can pivot a lot easier. This time when this craziness happened with COVID, I think just like a lot of people, I think we all got slapped in the face, and I feel proud that we didn't sit around and lick our wounds. Yeah, I think we did a little bit of that, of course, just like everyone did, but and we fought. It was either evolve or die. Right. And, God bless the dearly departed. There's a lot of business owners that I know that coronavirus took them out. Yeah. And some of them, I do feel bad for. Some of them, like, oh, you didn't deserve what happened. A lot of like my friends that are bar owners or restaurant owners or stuff like that, like I legitimately feel sorry for them. Yeah, there's no way to just replace it. Saying like, oh, you can evolve and start selling food online, like competing against like Domino's when you're Landon's Pizzeria. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to lose business. You're going to lose revenue for some period of time. But I think there's a lot of business. This is going to be somewhat controversial, but I think there's a lot of business owners out there that lost their business during the pandemic that didn't have to lose their business during the pandemic. They weren't entrepreneurs. They were business owners. They were small business owners. They didn't evolve. They cried. Yeah. They licked their wounds, which is completely rational. But you're also choosing to give up your business. I've been talking to people a lot. I'm into this whole concept. I want to turn it into something, but I don't know what to turn it into yet. Is that the world is defined by your ability to keep everything as two options. Yeah. So this isn't very articulate yet, but like this will be Catalina's next video someday. Is like there's literally only two options. It's win or lose. It's like fight or give up. Yeah. And like I think a lot of people end up searching for like a third option, and the third option just doesn't exist. If you want to play professional basketball, you either got to be all in or lose. There's no middle ground. You can't 99% is the same as 0%. 99% effort, you never become an athlete. Just never become 99% effort. You never become an entrepreneur. It's all in or all out. Like there's no way. I think there's a lot of people that the pandemic exposed their lack of entrepreneurship, which I don't say that in like a negative way, but like literally they were people with a business card that said owner of company as opposed to a real entrepreneur that's solution oriented and trying to tackle problems. I think the thing I'm most proud of that we did during the pandemic was that a lot of people were working for free for the vision to evolve the company. And our vision was always to do something special, do something that other people haven't done yet. And the money is far secondary to that. And we had a chance to really put our money where our mouth is. Yeah, it kind of forced our hand. You had to evolve. We had to do something special. Between the two options. I think the whole do something special motto that was came out and the whole leave your mark thing. We're going to leave a mark by accident. Like the coronavirus forced it. Post-pandemic now, it's either change the game or die.
Yeah.
There's no third path. Floating through entrepreneurship died along with the pandemic. Like if your marketing is the same as it was February of last year, you're not a marketing guy. You're full of crap. Full of crap. You're a dinosaur. Nothing's relevant. But that doesn't mean you weren't smart enough to figure it out. It means you got lazy and you're like, I'm waiting for the world to come back to normal. There's no normal. There's a new normal. It's like the internet was invented. Well, I'm waiting for phones to become popular again.
Right.
You're waiting forever. So I think that
even like big companies weren't, not exposed to that. I mean, we saw big players in our space start to fall apart.
Well, you saw big players in a lot of spaces. In every space. I mean, like freaking, there's a lot of big companies that waited for things to return in a world of things that are never returning. I don't think that's for our generation, for the under 50 crowd, the non-baby boomers.
Yeah.
This weeded out our competition. All the lazy guys that had a dominant hold on things, they didn't evolve. Everyone else evolved. Now you got Zoom is bigger than ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But from just a capitalistic perspective of supply and demand, true utility, can I take something and use it? Zoom is more valuable than oil.
Zoom would have been a stock.
It's more functional than oil.
That would have been the stock to own pre-pandemic. If you bought that in February, good Lord.
1,200%, something ridiculous.
It's insane.
Ridiculous.
It's insane.
But they evolved. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, there are some lucky winners, I think, of the pandemic. I think there were some very unlucky losers of the pandemic. But I think that was maybe 5% and 5%. The other 90%, it was, are you fighting or are you dying?
Yeah.
Take a pick.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out for us. But I think we're fighting. We're going to lose in a blaze of glory. We're not losing because the government shut us down.
Yeah.
We're going down swinging. Or we'll change the game. We'll truly do something special that's just remembered,
We just got to jumpstart with a catalyst, All right, cool. Let's change directions. Let's pivot. So obviously we have a change in leadership today. It's that day. So with the most famous person on the internet, Mr. Trump, President Trump,
on the internet?
No longer on the internet.
So who takes his throne, Landon?
Who takes the throne as the most famous person on the internet?
Literally, statistically, the most famous guy in the world by 100. Literally, more famous than Michael Jordan, 100x, is no longer on the internet.
Yeah.
So who takes the throne? Who's the coolest people in the world now that are the most famous people in the world now?
Do we go back to the days of old? So before him, I would imagine
Michael Jordan would have to be the most famous guy before Donald Trump.
Most famous,
the most famous guy.
Okay, so according to Google, besthoppers.com. Number
source.
Number
it's like 5, the real estate bloggers of
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, The Rock.
This is top 5.
We're supposed to be debating this, Kathleen. You're treading on our podcast.
So you're going through what? Most followers?
Top 5 most famous people in the world?
Yeah, most followers.
All right, keep going.
Supposedly. Bill Gates.
All right.
Jeff Bezos. Sorry. Wow, that was horrible. Donald Trump. And number 1, Joe Biden.
Most followers?
No, he's most famous.
Most famous.
All right, so who do you think will end up super, super famous, larger than life famous, now that the throne is wide open?
It's so tough, man. It's
give us some names.
If you think about I'm so out of the loop. I'm trying to think of who people talked about 5 years ago.
You have to think about
those people come back?
Ability to appeal to foreign countries too, like not just the United States. Like, so for instance, one of my hobbies is I collect shoes. I go to Colombia and come back with tons of Yeezys.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't know who Kanye West is. They know who Kim Kardashian is.
Sure.
So I'll throw in Kim Kardashian could be on the list of most famous people now that the throne is open.
Do people still care about her?
I think
too.
I don't know. I think in China now, if you walk in, do you know who Kim Kardashian is? I think they know who Kim Kardashian is.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the most famous people. I agree with it. I don't know that she'll be able to retain her crown because of how she got her crown. She got her crown from being famous for sake of being famous, and she was like an attractive person. That's not going to last forever. What does she do as a follow-up to attractive person? Because that'll die. Like, she won't be attractive forever. Maybe.
Does she have like a brand or their products? You know,
if you have to ask the question, she's not
people selling stuff.
So touche.
That's a good point. I know her sister's like selling stuff.
I think somebody that will come for the throne will be of Latin descent.
Yeah.
I think the whole, you know how there's like a British invasion?
Yeah.
I hate that guy. He's my least favorite person in the world.
So the most followed individual with the most followers all over social media platforms is Cristiano Ronaldo.
I don't like Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not. He's on my.
He's easy to not like.
Least favorite athletes. He's on the list.
Since January 2021, he has over 255 million followers, followed by Ariana Grande with 217 million followers.
Like my dad wouldn't know who Ariana Grande is. I don't think. Like she's not going to be on the most famous.
Yeah. I
couldn't even tell you what she does. I just know what her name is. Yeah. I couldn't tell. I don't know if she's a musician, an actor, whatever. Yeah. I think somebody like Shakira could end up, because like the Latin population is exploding. You know, they have influence.
Not her, somebody like her.
That's what I'm saying. I think it could be of Latin descent someday.
See, I don't know any of other than musicians. I don't know anybody from that world that's famous.
I mean, you got to be larger than life. Like you got to touch like Michael Jordan was like.
Yeah.
For the longest time, he was the most famous guy in the world. Like, literally, go to any country. You can be in, like, sub-Saharan Africa and be like, who do you know from the United States? And they'd be like, Michael Jordan. You know, but, like, he touched, like, everything. Like, fashion. Yeah. You know, like, obviously, he had sports. He was the Gatorade dude. You know.
Hanes.
Nike.
You know?
You know, like just massive name. You know, same thing, like, Trump was famous on TV for 40 years, and he becomes the president of the United States. Of course, he's going to go to number one because he's touching all the areas. Like, who could be that guy? Barack Obama.
You think he comes back around?
Yeah. I think we will be talking about Obama and Trump. Like, literally, I think we'll be talking about those two guys. I think they'll end up the two most famous people that we know while we're like, literally.
That's
like,
a good point.
The guy's got books. He's got Netflix now. He's still like, he just won the presidency. That's who everyone knows.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
like,
right.
Like, literally, anyone can ride his coattails into anything. Like, he's king. I think
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a really good
Obama.
One. That's a really good one.
He's got the name. Even his name sounds famous.
And he's become so liked.
Obama's like, it's almost like a verb nowadays. You know, like I think it could be him.
His last 6 months, he became more well liked than the previous 3.
And now that he's not a politician, you're like,
he can just be like a cool celebrity.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden. Like a lot of my liberal friends, like very left leaning people, they like George Bush Jr. all of a sudden. I'm like,
Really?
dude, I thought he was like the most hated guy ever. But now he's just some cool dude in Texas that's fighting. He's a billionaire. He's got oil. He's got baseball teams. Yeah. He was the president of the United States. He was, around for September 11th. And now he's just like cool grandfather all of a sudden. When I remember, in college, he was probably the most hated guy in the world. Right. And now he's loved by
people that would have hated him 15 years ago.
Because he's not important anymore to like the movement. Same thing like Obama, I think, will become less political.
Star power.
Yeah, he'll become less political and more celebrity.
He hangs out with rappers and basketball players and, people from all parts of the world. That's a good one.
Obama will be the one that takes Trump's seat as the most famous guy in the world, now that Trump is banned from everything. The world. He's not allowed.
He got banned from Spotify. I mean, he can't even have a playlist.
It's like if he wanted to go on and listen to like a new album.
Can't do it.
Wow.
He can't even play Star Spangled Banner. President can't even listen to his own anthem.
That would be his whole playlist. Star Spangled Banner. Freaking loop.
Can you imagine getting the boot from Spotify?
Oh man.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I didn't know they would kick anyone off. Like,
there was 15 sites that like within 48 hours.
His playlist incites riots. If you listen to these songs in this combination, you'll end up wanting to go to the Capitol building.
Start taking stuff.
That's right.
Smiling for the camera. Oh God.
All right, what you got left?
All right, so let's. I think we had some good picks for most famous person. I think
it's gonna be Obama. I'm convinced now. I just convinced myself.
I like the argument too. I really do.
Politician, but his politics came down.
Yeah.
His celebrity's going up. Mm-hmm. And he already has a bunch of notoriety. Everyone knows who he is already.
So likable.
So you can get cooler and cooler and cooler and cooler. Eventually, like the old white guys that hated him, he'll just be a celebrity.
Right.
So they can start liking him again. They can realize he was a cool dude. Regardless of politics, he's a cool guy.
The last video I saw of him, by the way, he was hanging out with Biden. They were at some campaign thing at like a high school. And he just walks in after they're all done, picks up a basketball, drains a three, and then walks out.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
no one
couldn't be cooler than that.
You won't hear people debating about like
his
Obamacare.
Yeah, right.
Like no. Like that's old news.
Like
we already
the old president is. He made a three and then walked. It's like, man,
right. I dropped his mic on the way out.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. All right, let's cover the stock a little bit. So like I think part of the reason that investing has become more popular than it probably was is people getting free money and trying to come up with something interesting to do with it. And obviously kind of the swing. And I know you dabble in that stuff a bit.
I love
it. What's been interesting to you in the last like 90 days?
I'll give you my interest. Like I agree with you on the most interesting thing happening in the stock market is regular people.
Yeah.
I think our generation was known, or anyone younger than literally, our grandparents were awesome with money.
Yeah.
Our parents are terrible with money, and we are even worse.
Yeah.
And I think we will change the trend. And I think the coolest thing happening in the financial world right now is that literally younger people are accessing it as something to do. It's become almost like a hobby. And I think it's because of the gamification element. I'm addicted to this whole gamification thing.
Yeah.
I think the reason it works is like, if you go to like Robinhood, where a bunch of like, all new investors are kind of getting their start on like Robinhood, Stash.
It's like Robinhood's got like a cult mentality.
A game. And it's like a game. Like you go on, you get instant gratification, you purchase something, and you immediately start to get to see the results of whether it's a good or bad decision, And you're also like, you're investing. You're investing for your future. So I think the coolest thing happening in the financial market is that people are relearning ever so slightly one of the strengths of like our grandparents. You know, like the average baby boomer, which is most of our parents, is $18,000 in debt. So if you ask like how much money do you have in the bank, the actual answer is negative $18,000. I think we'll reverse that.
Yeah.
You know, I think the pandemic will teach us that money doesn't grow on trees. Our parents, they didn't have to learn that. Like there was just so much abundance in like the 60s, in the 80s, again in the 2000s. Like, man, they've just been crushing it. So like to go into debt thinking that, oh, there'll always be more money to make tomorrow, that's not that ridiculous of a concept. I think our generation is going to unlearn how bad of a financial habit that is.
I think people start being more responsible out of fear. You know,
I agree.
This could happen again, and I could be strapped quick.
Yep.
You know,
but I also think like companies like Robinhood, especially with they did two things really well in my opinion. Is they made it simple and fun.
Yeah.
And they made it you could start with less. Like I know for me when I was in college, I was like, I can't invest in the stock market. Like one stock costs $100 and I have to pay somebody $8 as a commission just to buy it. So I have to spend $108. Like, and if I win, I'll end up with $115. That stinks.
I remember in college, I'd saved up like $2 or $3 grand or something like that from like my jobs. And I was like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go meet with like a financial planner or whatever. Yeah. Like I'm 19. I got a couple grand. This is my start. Like I'll start making like the right decision. And you know, the guy took the meeting and then wouldn't do business with me.
Yeah, of course not.
He was like, this is a bad idea for you. You shouldn't invest.
Yeah.
He's like, come back when you have like 20, 30 grand.
Now,
that's a real thing that happened. And he was doing me a favor. He was doing me a favor.
Yeah, like, that's how all of
we wouldn't take me as a client because I only had like a few $1,000.
Even if you had 20 grand, they'd be like, like you're talking the wrong guy.
Seriously.
But now I can go on my phone and I can download an app, and for $1, I can buy a little bit of action in a company. And I see it, and I get back on my phone the next day, and I have $1.01. And it's like, oh, that was a good idea.
Yep.
And even if it goes down, I'm still like, oh, well, now it's an opportunity to buy more because it's cheaper right now. So even if I lose, I can buy more. Right. You know, if I win, I feel good about it. I think the gamification plus the like dumbing it down, making it simpler. You know, obviously, like investing like a true investor, you got to know your stuff, you know, of course, but like you can start with less risk. I think that's the coolest thing that happened was that I agree. Like people got money for free, so to say, from Uncle Sam, and they used it to play a video game. And this time the video game, instead of Fortnite, was the stock market. Greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that we can teach the next generation to be even better with it. Like, how do we get the kids of America today to spend more time on the market and as opposed to like, you know, TikTok? You know, I think it's funny because it's becoming exciting. It's becoming entertainment.
It's funny that you mentioned
your money.
It's funny that you mentioned TikTok. Like there's people that are learning about investing for the first time through TikTok. Yeah. Like there's 100 channels of these. I think it's like kids trying to become like, you know, investment advisors and trying to get clients and stuff like that. But they're like pitching their picks, you know?
Yeah.
And then they'll come back in a week and be like, you know, I told you to buy this at 6 cents and now it's like 8. You got to follow my account because like I'll get you more picks like this.
Yeah.
And people are doing it. Like these guys are coming out of nowhere. And what's crazy about that is like some of these guys, these like younger guys, they'll be right enough times to build a following.
Yeah, they know
and they'll become investment strategy guys with a book of business without going to college and learning it that way.
Yeah, the beauty of the stock market is it is a truly merit-based society.
Yeah.
Like you don't need the degree if you got the results.
Yeah.
Like that's it. You don't need like. It used to be the only way to break into that world is you had to grind your way up to the bottom, and you had to have like a cool degree from Columbia.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't need to. You don't need to go to Harvard Business School.
You had to go to Merrill Lynch and bang out the phones 12 hours a day for 10 years.
You can be a bartender that's logical, create some good investments, and you can be making money. You couldn't do that before. It's awesome. It's unbelievable. But, so what do you want, Landon? Like some of the ones I'm excited about?
Yeah, two interesting ones. And then,
do you want like the up and comers? The ones I think have like a ton of
a ton of upside.
So I've done pretty well. I got in Snapchat at like $6, and it's like $50 now. So I got in some of them. So I'll give you some of the ones I think have a lot of room to grow. Like there's some stocks I really like, but it's boring. So my next one that I'm going big into is ticker symbol XL. So it's XL Fleet. So they convert gasoline based combustion engines to electric engines. So like if I have Amazon. I have 100 trucks delivering packages that are all running off of diesel or gasoline or whatever. I can call these guys. They will send me a box with an engine in. I get a mechanic. He takes out the gasoline engine, puts in an electric engine. Now I can get 1,000 miles out of this out of this truck. I think they obviously it says XL Fleet, but I think it's at. Let me see, Landon. I'll give you everyone that listens and buys it owes me a commission. If it works, it's at $19. I think it'll go to $60. So that'd be like triple your money. If I'm wrong, it's not my fault. It was Catalina's.
You shouldn't have listened to some stupid podcast.
Some stupid guy on the internet.
Yeah, that's your own.
But I do like it. It's been a rocky road.
Yeah.
I've lost some on it so far, but I do think it's going to $60. For me, Landon, I like investing in companies that make sense to me.
Yeah.
As good ideas, like something that I think is going to be. It just adds up. So that's my new. The new one I think I can get a lot of action out of is XL, like ticker symbol XL. I don't know. A lot of the other stuff is like boring. I like Mercado Libre a lot. It's basically Latin America Amazon. It's way up. It's definitely like record highs like all the time, but I think it's going to be massive. Yeah. And for one, I think you can buy it literally at the top of the market and it'll still keep going up for one reason. Obviously, my wife is Colombian. When I first started going to Colombia, I had I would go through and everyone in South America goes to the mall, just like we did when we were in high school. Go to the mall. Like literally, if you want to buy anything, you go to the mall. If you want to go to the bank, you go to the mall. Like literally, there's no Amazon, eBay, self-deliver, whatever. So I for about a year, I was sitting around like, why in the world is it this way? Are they just behind technology-wise? Like, what's the gap? Yeah. Like, no one ever, got on a plane and went to the United States and saw some American buy off of Amazon and come back and say, we could do this here. No one did. But like, what Mercado Libre is really fixing is the delivery mechanism. The biggest difference between a lot of what we call, I hate this term, but like third world countries and the States is that you have no idea how awesome our mail system is until you've been to any other country in the world. It's one of those things like Americans have no idea about because we're just so used to it. You pay 49 cents or whatever the hell a stamp is. You put a piece of paper in a box and 2 days later somebody else has it for 49 cents or 50 cents or whatever it is. You know how ridiculous of a concept it is to anyone that's not a U.S. citizen that was born and raised here? Everyone else will be like, you're out of your mind. Like, if Catalina lives 2 miles down the road from me and I drop something and she'll have it in the next day. If she lives in California, she's going to have it the next day, even if I mail it from New Jersey. If she lived 2 blocks down from me in most countries, it would take a month and it would cost $30 for her to get whatever. So like at first I liked Mercado Libre because they were the Amazon of South and Central America, and there isn't one currently. And now I think they're going to change the game. I think they're going to, like, Amazon's biggest thing, in my opinion, is that they built this machine of delivery. I don't even think it's the fact that you can buy anything on Amazon, because I can buy anything at Walmart too. I can buy anything at Target. I can go to a shopping mall and buy anything, like Tom Segura style.
Yeah,
I want hammers, bananas, and an eagle's beak.
Yeah.
You can get all that shit on any big company right now. Amazon, though, made this genius plan to incorporate the existing, carriers in with their own mechanism.
Yeah.
Now they got these buildings and warehouses all over the place, and like I can order, like literally I can go on Amazon and probably say I want a coffee cup, and it'll probably be here before I drive home without doing anything.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I think they changed the game in regards to like just delivery. So that's why I like XL, just because I like the concept of it. It makes sense to me. Like I think the electric vehicle thing is huge, obviously, but right now it's incredibly expensive, and it doesn't represent that big of a share of market. Like I bet if you took a survey of 1,000 people, maybe 2 of them out of 1,000 have an electric car. I don't know. I'm sure there is a percentage.
Yeah.
But like not many of them have an electric vehicle. Most all of us have a gas powered vehicle if we have a car, and if we have the car. The easier thing to do would be just to like convert it to electric, so I get the perks of it.
Right.
And then I'll buy the next electric vehicle. Like my next car, I'll be an electric car. Like
it's kind of intermediate.
It's kind of like the bikes.
Yeah.
Like a bicycle. At the beginning, it was like, oh well, we should do electric bikes that have power, but it was like $3,000 for one of these electric bikes. So some dude was like, "Oh, I'll just make a motor that attaches to
your
wheel,
battery and call it a day."
And that's kind of dead now.
Yeah,
like no one does it because now you can buy the bike for the same price as converting the bike. But there's a lot of conversions. Like this guy, I think he had a good idea because the bike. There's a ton of bikes out there. I don't want to buy a second one. If I can spend 1/5 of the money and just convert what I already have. May as well do that.
No, it makes sense. You heard it here first. Get out there and invest in that shit.
Do XL Fleet. It's brand new. It's out there. And if we all blow it up together, like TikTok style, we'll make trillions of dollars.
And if it lose our number, don't call. We're not taking
it. If it sucks, like I said, I'm just regurgitating information from Lopez. And her phone number will be attached so you can yell at her
absolutely.
If this goes bad.
She'll be taking all complaints.
My Venmo will be attached if you make money, so you can send me a rip.
Right. Well, cool. Well, Tim, thanks for hanging out. And
it was fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to do it more often. Other than that, thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed our nonsense.
That's right.
Yep. Later.